Today we're making up some smothered sausages over mashed. Oh yes, it doesn't get much better. Actually, this dish is also called bangers and mashed, first developed during World War I in Great Britain. No matter what you call it, it's wallet-friendly and incredibly delicious, so let's make it up. The first thing we're going to do is add 2 or 3 good-sized potatoes that I've cubed up into a pot of water, and of course the smaller you cube them, the faster they cook. So we'll just slip a lid on, let these come to a boil, and cook away for about 15 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to grab up a pack of bangers. This is about 500 grams that I picked up in the grocery store, and you can get these in just about any store. You don't necessarily have to use bangers. You can use Italian sausage, pork sausage, whatever you like. Now, because bangers were developed during the World War I meat shortage, they added water. Because of that, they banged and exploded a bit while cooking, so they poked holes in them. Interesting, huh? Okay, let's fire up the old stove, add a knob of butter in, followed by some olive oil to stop it from burning. Then go ahead and add our bangers in, and like I say, this is about 5 or 6 of them, 500 grams or so, or like a pound. But add as many as you want, depending on the gang you're serving. And as usual, we're going to have some fun and flip and flop these around and fry them up over medium-high heat until they are beautifully cooked through. And this is going to take you, I don't know, maybe 7-10 minutes, something like that. Now, once our sausages or bangers are all done banging and fried up, we're just going to set them aside on a plate. Next up, we are going to chop up an onion. Now, I'm using a red onion in this case, but you can use, white, yellow, Spanish, whatever you have on hand. Go ahead and throw those same onions into the same pan, and you don't want to touch that pan because there's all kinds of wonderful flavors in there. And we are going to stir, fry, saute, whatever it might be, these onions just about to the point where they're caramelized. And oh my goodness, they are smelling so good. Caramelized onions always smell wonderful. Alrighty then, now in with 3 cloves of chopped garlic because you know me and my garlic. Once again, saute that garlic until the aroma fills the air. Now you have 2 wonderful smells, caramelized onions and garlic sauteing. Now in with a couple of tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and we'll just kind of stir that flour around until a bit of a roux forms. And those onions are completely coated. Now it's time to make up our gravy, and what I use is a mixture by Knorr, and it's called Bravo, and it makes up a beautiful, rich, dark gravy. So just add some of this to, I'd say about 1.5 cups of water. And by the way, the mixing instructions are all on the bottle. And of course, give this a good mix, but doesn't this look dark and rich, guys? Okay, grab up that mixture and pour about half of it over top of those onions. Of course, we're going to give this a good stir around. What it's going to do is mix with that flour mixture and also deglaze the pan, but it is looking so good already, and it's only gravy. Of course, once you're done that, add the rest of the broth. And it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it again, give it a good stir around again. Now we are going to add in a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce just for our British friends, and after all, the dish is British. About a teaspoon of salt, not too much, not too little, depending on how salty you want it. Of course, a good teaspoon or even 2 of ground black pepper because I just love my ground black pepper. Of course, give it a quick stir. And I have to say at this point in time, guys, doesn't this look rich, thick, and absolutely delicious? Oh, this gravy is going to be so good. So we'll just bring our gravy to a good boil and let it simmer away for about 10 minutes over medium heat while it thickens up and we work on our potatoes. By adding a good knob, about a tablespoon of unsalted butter, a couple of tablespoons of milk, depending on how creamy you want it, a good pinch of salt, about a teaspoon, another teaspoon or 2 of ground black pepper, and lastly, believe it or not, about a teaspoon of garlic powder. Yes, I add garlic powder to my taters. Grab up the old smasher and mash these up until they are beautifully smooth and creamy. And just kind of eyeball this a little bit. If you find they're not creamy enough, add a bit more milk. And this is about perfect, guys, at least in my humble opinion. Alrighty then, it's time to plate and put everything together, starting with some peas, our creamy and incredible mashed potatoes, and don't be going anywhere and exiting right now because this is the best part of the video. are sausages, or sometimes called bangers, over top of those mashed potatoes. And I usually put 2 or 3 on, depending on how hungry I am. And you got it, my friends, that beautiful, delicious, luxurious gravy over top of those bangers or sausages and mashed potatoes. And maybe it's just me and something we should be talking to our psychiatrist about, but the darker the gravy, the better and more delicious the dish seems. Is it not that way? I don't know. And there you have it, our simply easy, delicious, wallet-friendly smothered sausages over mashed, or sometimes, as we said earlier, bangers and mashed. And you bite into this. I don't even have to say it, guys, but just for a few bucks, how really good and scrumptious delicious this dish really is. Well worthwhile making, be a hit with the whole family or your dinner guests. Simply a must make. And I just know this, you're watching this video and you're hungry already, so go ahead, no matter what time of day or night it is, and make it up. Just kind of kidding, it's better in the evening, but it's up to you. And as I always say in every video, if you like what you saw, give us a like. It does really, really help. And if you're so inclined, subscribe for more delicious videos.